Hey everybody, this is Simon Margolis, and today we're going to be going through building an application from scratch using Google Gemini and Google's Project IDX. We're going to do this without writing any code at all. We're not even going to copy and paste any code. We're going to let Gemini and IDX do all the heavy lifting for us. For those that have not had a chance to play with it before, Project IDX is an IDE or developer environment from Google. It's fully cloud-based, and so what you see here is we're setting up a brand new environment from scratch. And so just to show you, there's no tricks up our sleeves here. This is completely being built brand new environment, brand new everything. You're going to see some code get dropped in here. This is boilerplate stuff that is just part of a new project for Project IDX. We're going to throw all this stuff away, and we're going to ask Gemini to create everything it needs to create. And so what we're going to demonstrate here is that well, we could be able to come in here as a total novice. We don't need to have any existing expertise with writing code or building applications. And we're going to describe to Gemini what it is that we want it to do. And it's going to go ahead and ask us questions and then go do that. So we've pre-created a prompt here. We're going to stick it in here. Basically what it's saying is we want to develop a new guest book application. We don't need authentication. We want people to be able to access it. We mentioned the Google Cloud project we wanted in. And we asked it to give us questions that it needs to know in order to go do what we want. So it comes and asks us, do we have a preference for backend technology? Well, yeah, we want to use Python. Data storage, well, yeah, let's store it, locally. We want to keep things simple. We don't want a big database. Of course, we could change that answer. We could tell it we do want a big database, and it's going to provision those things for us as well. For authentication, we're going to tell it, we want this to be publicly available. So let's keep this thing open to the public. And then for the front end, we're novices, right? So we don't have a preference. We don't know anything about that. We're just going to say we don't know. So it takes that information and it comes up with a plan for how it's going to actually build the application and then go and deploy it. So we get to see that plan, tells it's going to set up the project, going to build out the back end, build out the front end, and then it gives us the actual code that it's going to implement. So you can see I clicked add, it just added all that code over into the side panel. And now it thinks about what the next step is going to be. It wants to make some changes to that. It's going to do that. So it's iterating over itself, which is really powerful. It realizes that we need to have a Docker file, so it's going to go ahead and create that Docker file for us. And so just like that, our backend's been created. We've created a Docker file, which is going to get used for deployment. It's updating the requirements.txt file, and it's making changes too. So it creates sort of these template files, and it realizes, well, maybe there's placeholders or superfluous information in there, and that it needs to go back and change them, and it actually makes those changes. So now it prompts us for some more information. It wants to know what's the name of the project that we want to deploy this into, so we tell it the name of the GCP project, and then it just gives us the command to start gets going. So we just click go, it puts that command into the command line, it starts going. Again, I've not typed anything to this point, I'm just clicking, I'm authenticating myself so that it has permission to deploy into my project. Then it tells me the next command it needs to run. It's going to go ahead and build something. So it's doing the actual Docker build now. And again, I'm not typing anything. I'm just clicking go, and it's going in and it's doing that build. So it looks like give it a few seconds to actually complete the build for us here. But again, pretty impressive so far. We've gone from a place of we described our application. We told it to ask us questions to get better understanding of what it is that we wanted to build. We've answered those questions. It's gone off. It's built our back end. And now it's working. It built our front end and now is working on deploying to Google's Cloud Run environment. It's doing all that kind of on its own, and it looks like it fully built. So okay, we'll ask it to deploy. Again, we're just going to click. It has that command already written for us, and we'll start the deployment process. It'll take maybe a couple of seconds, and we should be live, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so we have a URL. We can go access our app. It's probably not going to be perfect on the first iteration, but let's see what we've got so far, and we can give further coaching. Okay, so it says no entries yet. Great, but I don't see any place to add entries, so let's ask for that to be added. So we're going to add a place for users to add entries to the guest book. So let's ask it to do that. And we're probably going to have it make some changes to some files. Let's see what it suggests. Okay, wants to update our file. Look, added a whole new form and tells us we're going to need to rebuild the app. So great, we click build. Off we go. Same process. It's going to go and build everything that needs to be built before we can deploy the container. So again, we're able to keep iterating, right? So we saw something, we wanted to make changes to it. We tell Gemini what those changes are. It goes, it makes changes to our files. And it's pretty impressive stuff, right? Because it has all this context in mind. It knows what we originally asked it. It understands all my code. You can see the form here in the code that it added, and tells us to rebuild, and then reminds us that we need to actually run what we just rebuilt. So now we're deploying. Again, the Cloud Run second revision here should be done very, very quickly, and then we'll be able to check our progress. Taking a little bit longer to deploy, but okay, there we go. So let's check out our updated app, see if it's any different. Awesome. That's what we're expecting. Put in our information. Let's see if it actually works. Moment of truth. And we've got a fully AI generated app built with English. Woohoo!